Have you ever wondered what you're eating for breakfast, what you're eating for lunch, what you're eating for dinner, or what you're buying at the grocery store when you buy your groceries? Today I'm going to talk with you about genetically modified foods. I'm Amber McClellan, Public Speaking, COM 231, IT 30. What are genetically modified foods? Genetically modified foods are, for example, when you take a strawberry and you inject it with a genetically modified substance and it turns the strawberry purple or blue. Same goes with other vegetables and fruits. When you inject them with hormones, you're also changing the content of the fruit along with the color. If you are an American, you have most likely eaten a genetically modified food. Are genetically modified foods safe for you? The answer to that is no. Many genetically modified foods have hormones that can harm many Americans and cause them to pick up certain allergies that they may not have had before. The positives to genetically modified food, however, are the U.S. physicians, the government, has said that genetically engineered crops are safe, that they are able to resist disease better, and they can provide much needed food for the starving nations. So the U.S. government takes our food and genetically modifies it so that it can be spread out through other nations. The U.S. is the largest and one of the only countries that allows genetically modified foods to be able to let the consumers purchase. Genetically modified foods are stronger and they make the crops more resistant to die when we have droughts. And also they are able to resist pests and disease, unlike regular grown crops. Genetically modified foods are more nutritional and vitamins are put into the foods. The risk of genetically modified foods are that 60 to 70% of processed foods on U.S. grocery store shelves are genetically modified. The most common genetically modified foods are maize, cotton, and grapeseed oil. Most breakfast foods, such as cereals and granola bars, have different types of oils in them. Most all sodas have corn syrup or have fructose syrup. Most of these ingredients are also found in animal feeds. Therefore, the meat that we eat are also genetically modified, being that the animals are eating the genetically modified foods themselves. Most countries like Canada and the European countries do not allow genetically modified food. The U.S. is one of the only countries that allows genetically modified foods, or GMOs, and does not put labels on foods that have been genetically modified. Therefore, no consumer knows which foods are genetically modified and which foods are not genetically modified. The health hazards with genetically modified foods, just as with everything new to humans, there are some health risks or factors associated with genetically modified foods. When you genetically modify something, you're introducing new allergens that some people's bodies may not be able to handle. And you're also introducing toxins into the foods, which can in turn make the humans very sick. Also, with genetically modified foods, you can accidentally contaminate between genetically modified and non-genetically modified foods. The genetically modified foods also allow the humans to become antibiotic resistant, which means that the antibiotics that we are currently using may not be effective when humans continue to consume genetically modified foods, leading to more research to figure out which antibiotics will cure when we have bacterial infections. Adversely, you're changing the content of a crop. When you inject hormones into strawberries or any other fruit or vegetable, when you're changing what was originally good for you, you could be changing a strawberry which would naturally be healthy for you, but when you put the genetically modified ingredients into it, it could be just like eating a candy bar. Also, you're starting to create super weeds that and other environmental risks. When you create super weeds, you're creating weeds that may not be controlled by any sort of pesticide or any type of weed killer. Some ways to avoid genetically modified foods. Do your research before going out to the grocery store. Research GMOs or genetically modified foods and see what types of foods are usually affected with GMOs. Grow your own crops and be sure that the pesticides that you are putting onto your crops are not as dangerous as the ones that bigger vegetable and fruit growing plants are putting on theirs. Buy as many organic products as possible, but be careful here. Make sure that all the products that you're buying organic are truly organic. Always look for the 100% organic foods. And here's those two pictures I got from Google Images. And the bottom says, try organic food, or as your grandparents called it, food. In conclusion, a major benefit to genetically modified foods is to increase the food supply. But the things that go into our foods may not be safe. However, after studying genetically modified foods, would this change the way that consumers shop? Would this change the way that you shop? And also, we should rely more on homegrown foods than we should store-bought foods. Our references I received from Agricultural Biotechnology, The Effects of Label Design Characteristics on Perceptions, and a referendum, Are You What You Eat? Thank you.